Class 10 students, your PT tests are already here, and in this meantime we need a master plan to tackle these exams, because this is the first time you are actually going to get tested in your class 10th, and these marks will actually matter and play a role in your internal assessments, because that's how teachers will analyze you. Okay, and also these tests will build a foundation, will tell you what mistakes to avoid, what areas to work in your future, which will eventually prepare you for your class 10th boards. Okay, now beta, these are very important. We all know these are of 30 marks, so they won't have the whole syllabus, but first two chapters will majorly these tests will cover. Okay, so your first point is to know your syllabus. Now these exams, they will be happening in somewhere in mid of July, from the starting second week of July to it will stretch till mid of July. Okay, so for that beta, you should know the syllabus that you are dealing with. Okay, I think, is it visible? Okay, now beta, first you have to know your syllabus. If you don't, go check with your teachers. Now majorly these will consist, these chapters are basically what will come into your PT test, including all the schools, different schools, they can decide their own syllabus, right? But these are the major chapters that are almost covered. Okay, so in biology we have life processes, then we have control and coordination, chemical reactions, equations, acid, bases and salts, and in physics we have light and human eye. Now this we all mostly know. What I am going to tell you is the important topics that you cannot miss in these particular tests. Okay, so from each chapter, let's see the important topics. Starting with biology, let's see, first is our life processes. Okay, the one shot is already uploaded on the channel. Go see those in detail with questions, and you can join live as well, so that to revise and do questions every day. Okay, now beta, talking about life processes, we have a very important topic, that is photosynthesis. Its equation, reactions and products all are very important. Moving from that, we have digestion in humans. The diagram is the most important thing. Even if they have asked, if they have not, you have to make the diagram. Okay, then beta, we have double circulation, functions of villi, alveoli and nephrons, very important, and some important diagrams like what, like heart, like stomata, like digestion, like your nephron. Okay, so these are some of the very important topics that you cannot miss in these chapters. Now if you have completed your revision, done NCERT line by line, then these topics might add some good marks into you, into your marks, right? If you have, however, not started your preparation, these are the topics that you should start with. Okay, then beta, coming to control and coordination, we have reflex arc and reflex action. Moving on from there, we have name and function of hormones, very important. Then we have neuron paths and diagrams. This diagram is really important along with the labeling. Okay, then we have human brain and its parts, the whole nervous system. Okay, so these are some of the important topics of biology. Now moving on to physics, we have the very first topic, light. Almost all of you in your class, you will be covering this chapter, light. Okay, so ray diagrams, very important. One shot is on the channel. Videos just explaining ray diagrams are present on the channel. Go watch them. Okay, very important. With this we have a very important thing called sign conventions as well on the channel, uploaded, and go watch it. After watching that video, you won't have any problem doing these numericals, in which we have very important mirror formula, refractive index, power, magnification, everything. Okay, then beta, again just like mirror formula, we have lens formula as well, and glass slab refraction as well. Okay, now a lot of you might have human eye. So in human eye diagram and its parts, its function is very important. Moving on, we have defects of vision and their correction, again very important. Then we have small topics, rainbow, atmospheric refraction and its causes, and numericals of this chapter is also very important. Okay, now if some of you do have the chapter electricity, okay, now in that beta, the diagram, the circuit diagrams, okay, the circuit diagrams are very important. The part of resistance. Parallel combination, series combination, again numericals will come from that. The power chapter, the power topic, that is very important. Okay, so these are the some important topics in your chapter electricity. Okay, so don't miss these. Then moving on to beta chemistry, we have chemical reactions and equations. Again, balancing is the core of this chapter, so balancing you cannot miss. Again, video is on the channel. Okay, then we have displacement and double displacement reaction, precipitation reaction, we also call it. Go watch those, learn the examples. Then we have activities, color changes and precipitation. All the activities are equally important in chemistry. Then moving on, second chapter, acid, bases and salts, we have indicators, methyl orange, litmus paper, vanilla extract. All those things are very important, and how they react with acid and bases and salts and neutral water, again very important. Then we have chemical properties of acid, bases and salts, how they react with metals, non-metals, carbonates. Okay, then we have some important salts in there: baking soda, washing soda, bleaching powder, POP, very important. pH, the topic pH is also very important. What if pH is less? Will it be acidic or basic? And what will happen if I add the acid? Will it, where the scale will move? All these questions are very important. Okay, now beta, this was the section of know your syllabus. Now moving on to, I'm going to tell you some mistakes that you have to avoid in a quick thing, and then I'll tell you how to correct those mistakes as well. Okay, first of all beta, we do some mistakes that, oh, papers are here, let me just do lots of questions. If your concepts are not clear, if you have not done numericals, solved ones, you have seen someone doing the numericals, don't go directly to questions, it will confuse you even more. Okay, so first thing you have to do is clear your concept and move on to revision. By concept, I mean NCERT line by line of those chapters which we saw. So I'm hoping those chapters you have completed the NCERT line by line and you have watched the lectures as well. Okay, next beta, notes and short notes. Of course, I am telling you from so much time that these notes and short notes are very important, because one day before the examination, chemistry, biology and physics, and you have 6 chapters, 4-5 chapters, you won't be able to go through a line by line in NCERT. Okay, these notes will be of your utmost importance at that point. Okay, and with that, this is also the time beta to clear your backlogs. All these chapters that you missed before, they will come in your boards, right? So this is a perfect time for you to clear your backlogs and revise formulas, numericals, questions, diagrams. You have the whole time. They gave you this time because they know, we as teachers know that that students create some backlogs. It's human nature. So these are tests, these are designed in such a way so that up until now, if you had any backlogs, you can clear those. Okay, now beta, second mistake is your NCERT. Now I told you, this is not the time to read NCERT line by line just one day before the exam, but that doesn't mean you don't have to complete the NCERT. Don't just jump to random books. This is the time for you to completely focus just on NCERT, its concepts, your short notes. Don't go to 10 kinds of different books and try lots of questions. Clear your concepts from NCERT, do the questions of NCERT examples, the back exercises. Then only if you have time, you can go see some extra numericals, diagrams, but at this moment your questions will not come out of NCERT. Okay, so do not jump directly to NCERT and revision beta. Now beta, in revision I have some very important points for you. First, to revise theory. Okay, we have divided into 3 parts: numericals and theory and diagrams. To revise theory, you have to follow this exact roadmap. You have to trust your Aditi Ma'am. I'll get your marks up by 100%. See, write down important definitions every time you revise. Every time you revise, you have to get a book, a rough notebook that you have. You have to write down important definitions. Photosynthesis definition with example. Displacement, double displacement. Write down the equation. Human digestive system. Write down. Okay, mouth mechanical doing. If it's a long answer, write down just the bullet points. Do not have to write the whole English. But for important definitions like laws of reflection, laws of refraction, you have to write those down. Revise what concave mirror. Okay, 6 cases, 5 cases, 1 stupid case, 5 cases these images are formed, 6th case virtual and direct images formed. So revise every time. You have short notes, but still revise on your revision notebook. That's my one advice to literally everyone. Revise by writing. When you write, you use lots of senses and they come together and give you the best experience in your exams. Okay, then beta formula sheet, of course, very important. Make a formula sheet of all the formulas, paste it in front of your desk and you're sorted. Then we have important reasoning questions. These also you have to write. When you go through NCERT, you see, okay, this is the question they have asked again and again. We see it in lives as well. We see it in class tests as well. So write down those questions to practice again and again. And this you have to do every single time. Done. Then coming on to numericals, there are 2 kinds of numericals for you to revise. You only have to revise the numericals. First is solved. Start with solved, NCERT of course, and come join my live sessions. I'm doing all the numericals of all the chapters. Unsolved ones, obviously you can join the live sessions. Of course you can use ChatGPT and lots of AI stuff, but the way a teacher will teach you is lots different than ChatGPT. Okay, next beta, this is the format you have to follow. Now this test is not all about just revising and collecting your concepts and following your backlogs. Okay, this is also about to teach you how to actually write the examination, how to deal with the exam panic, how to deal with all the stress, and along with that, how to follow the exact format so that to get maximum marks. Okay, so for numericals, we follow given, we write whatever is given, then what we need to find, solution, formula, calculation, answer in a box neatly and cleanly with units. Done. Then beta, next we have answer writing. Okay, let me tell you a little stuff about diagrams. See beta, diagrams, first there is no shortcut. You have to make them again and again. Make these diagrams at least once a day. Once a day. Not all diagrams. I'm not asking you to make 10 diagrams a day, but at this point when your boards are so near, at least make the diagrams 4 or 5 diagrams a day. Okay, 4 to 5 diagrams in a day you have to make. Okay, then beta, these should be neat and they should be labeled in a very clean way. That's one thing. This is whatever the diagram is. If you label it like this, then it does not look good. Same diagram, label it cutely and neatly. Okay, done. Now beta, our last hack, that is your answer writing. How to actually write your answers in the answer paper, in the question paper. So you have your answer sheet, it should be structured. Now I'm not talking about complete handwriting. Your handwriting should look like pearls. No, your handwriting can be a little bad, but it can be neat and structured. So for MCQs and short marks, your answers will be to the point. With proper, for long, you have to use the proper format. What is the format? Introduction, body, bullet points and conclusion. And in this beta, in science, we have lots of diagrams. So if you think that question is remotely related to the diagram, make the diagram almost again. Of course, if you have time. If you don't have time, don't go to diagrams, but if they have asked, you have to. They'll cut your marks if you don't. If they don't asked the diagram in the question, then you can choose. If you have the time, make the diagram. If you don't, you can skip it. Okay, and beta, finally we have some final tips for answer presentation, and that is the way you write. Okay, first it should be neat and clean. Now you have a structure in your board examinations. You have a section A and B and C. You cannot do A question in B section, B question in C section, right? So practice that in this exam as well. Then next beta, diagrams again should be neatly labeled. Keywords should be underlined properly, and you have to cut neatly. Here mitochondria is a power of the cell. Mitochondria is a keyword. Powerhouse of the cell is a keyword. If you have to cut, just cut with a single line. Do not make it look like a kachra and a garbage. Okay, then leave proper lines after every answer. Even when you are writing the equation, write it properly so that the examiner knows that this kid has studied from a good teacher. Okay, next beta, we have the last thing as your tests. Now this is a 1% club. All these things you can do. but if you don't give tests, if you don't take these tests seriously, then they will show up in the boards and they will pareshan you a lot. Okay, so beta, these school tests, these term tests, these half yearly pre-board mock tests, now you are in term tests, right? We are in here PT test. Take these very seriously, take these very seriously, and before that practice proper mock tests. We will have a live session in which we will go through all the proper mock tests, all the questions. I will solve them personally, so make sure you join these live sessions to be in that 1% club of your class 10th science. Okay, now beta, that is it for this video. I hope you are fully prepared for your PT test. I am rooting for you guys. You just keep your confidence high, do not panic. In any case, just come to my live session if you need a motivation, if you just want to share something that's bothering you. I am here and I'll meet you in the next video. Tata, bye bye.